John, it's great to be speaking to you again so early in the new year. I understand MIL has announced a new acquisition in Myanmar. I mean, it came a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. And we sure are out of the blocks quickly this year. Look, we've been working on the Wuntho acquisition for quite a while now, and I'm really pleased that we've been able to agree terms with the vendor to acquire Myanmar Reserves Development Company, or MRD, which holds the Wuntho asset. In essence, it's a share swap, so some MIL script for 100% of MRD shares, and that allows Myanmar Metals to acquire 100% of the asset, and it keeps the cash drain down. So we get an absolute corker of an exploration asset, and the vendor continues to enjoy exposure to that asset through its new Myanmar Metals shares, and it also gains exposure to our Bawdwin and our Tale assets. It's a pretty simple transaction, no earn-in milestones or clawback clauses or anything like that, just settlement in 2 tranches to suit the Japanese reporting year as the vendor is registered in Japan. And a single private royalty on future production, which is capped, and MIL holds a preemptive right to buy it out. So it's pretty straightforward.
Can you tell us a bit more about this Wuntho asset? You've described it right there as a corker. Why is that?
Well, because it's pretty good, that's why. For a start, it's granted exploration tenure in the highly mineralised and prospective Sagaing area. Now, that's similar to the Locrian ground over at Tale, except that here the prospecting phase has already been done. So we're pretty much able to just roll the drill rigs in. Then there's the address. The Wintho Proper Arc is where Myanmar's existing big mines are, so like Moniwara and Chalfato. It's where the likes of Panost are exploring at the moment. There's already a demonstrated porphyry system. So, for example, the Shanglong copper gold porphyry just near our Wuntho South block has already been identified in that area. And the potential here is huge. 153 square kilometres of granted tenure, with a further 28 in application areas in the Sagaing region, with rock chips to 51.6 grams per tonne of gold and 3.8% copper already demonstrated on the ground. The potential porphyry system identified in the soil work that's been done to date is an area of 63 square kilometres, and we've got targets that really just need access and prep to get going.
So I can certainly hear the excitement in your voice there, John. Can you talk us through the next steps?
Yeah, well, I guess first things first, we've got due diligence work to complete. I expect that's about a month. And thereafter, we pay a modest non-refundable deposit. We work through the regulatory and legal transfer process, and we'll settle on tranche 1, which is for 51% of the company, somewhere around the end of April, I would imagine. All things going well. Once we've got tranche 1 out of the way and tranche 2 is safely in trust, at that point we're able to get onto the ground and start work as quickly as possible. So we're going to be doing the tech work, the planning and the tendering and that sort of thing in the background while we work through all the legals.
So can you cope with that extra work without detracting from Bawdwin?
Yes, for sure. And it's one of our core principles in building Myanmar Metals' portfolio that we do not compromise Bawdwin in any way. So we have the team and the resources to handle a very early stage greenfields exploration asset at Tale, a brownfields exploration asset at Bawdwin, a construction project that's also at Bawdwin, and an advanced drill-ready exploration project, which is where MRD fits in. So we've got, if you imagine the pipeline, we've got different teams and we're spread out along that pipeline. So we're not sort of overdoing it in any area. But it is fair to say that that pipeline is pretty full now with this latest acquisition. I mean, it's a great project pipeline, and our good fortune is very, very clear to see. I mean, how often does a company get to build an asset base of this calibre? A dominant position in the local market based on a world-class proven mineral asset and a suite of high potential exploration leases. As an Australian, I've got to say the BHP story comes to mind. Mark Creasy's view is that we'll be something of a market maker for exploration assets in Myanmar when our MIC approval comes through. And he's recommended putting our foot on good assets now, as there may well be a pegging rush once Bawdwin is approved. And I think we've done exactly that.
So finally, John, you mentioned the MIC approval process there. It'd be remiss of me not to ask for an update on that process. What's the latest there?
Well, certainly. I'm very pleased with the level of engagement with the Myanmar government. We've met already this year, and while I'm not at liberty to share the details, I am able to say that everything is on track for a formal submission. And as you know, I would have liked to see that done last year, but I guess when you factor in national elections and a pandemic, we're probably doing okay. And in the meantime, we have rods spinning at Bawdwin again, so stay tuned for our announcement about that.
Fantastic, John. Really appreciate you joining me again today. Great to have you on so early in the new year, and all the best for 2021.
My pleasure.